What's going on, everybody? You are now tuned into Planetary HQ, the planetary headquarters for all of your celestial information. And what a time to be alive! UFO contacts are happening, it seems like, on the daily. People are coming up with new sources. Congressmen are meeting and actually deliberating on legislation about the subject. I woke up 2 days ago and I was snowed in. Ice is all over the driveway. A lot of people in America right now are experiencing the same thing.
You got ice
Ace
in
is
your
going
driveway?
crazy, and yeah, I got ice. I was just about
Oh,
to say.
shit.
I was about to say, make a joke. Yeah, ice in Minneapolis as well, not just in my driveway. A lot of stuff's going on right now, and we kind of just want to relieve some of the pressure, relieve some of the tension by talking about what happens after you die. You know, a lot of this anxiety comes from not knowing what's happening ahead. What is the next obstacle on the path? And death seems to be one of these largest ones, especially for all of humans throughout all of history. If you understand that you're actually going to a physical place, a location in the cosmos after you die, then it will kind of relieve some of that pressure. You go, oh, okay, I'm part of like a cosmic video game. I have a cosmic career. And I can, if I grow my stats down here, I can bring them up there and provide value for my team up there. Oh, I can start growing my profile, growing my mind, body, spirit right here, right now. And I can literally start at a higher level when I die up there. That gives a whole new motivation to the meaning of life. And we just want to share this with you guys. And we believe that by understanding this, it will kind of relieve some of the social tensions that we're currently experiencing today. If you think you can get away with murder, you can't. You can't bring someone in the middle of the woods and kill them. A lot of people think that if no one sees you, if you're wearing a mask and you kill somebody, you can get away with it. You're good. You're clean. That's not what happens. When you die, when you wake up, there's going to be angels. They're like, hey, dude, we were watching what you were doing. You killed that guy. That was wrong. Oh, and by the way, here he is. Here's the guy you killed. You have to talk to him, and we have to get over this kind of stuff. You can't get away with murder. You can't get away with all these acts of violence. You're going to get processed after you die. Once you understand this, it'll prevent you from doing stupid shit down here. You get the point? That's what we're trying to teach. That once you understand what happens after the mark of death, after that point, then you'll realize what this life is truly about. I'm not the first person to be saying this. Jesus Christ talked about it a lot. He said, in my Father's house, there are many mansions. What is it? What's the quote? I have it up right here. In my Father's house, there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself. That where I am, that you may be also. And where I go, you know, and the way you know. He's literally saying, in my Father's house, there are many mansions. If it wasn't so, I would not be telling you this. I'm going to go there to prepare a place for you. So after you die, you will come up to me. He says it flat out. So I'm not the first person saying this. Jesus Christ himself talked about it. And we're going to talk about it today. So in 1935, actually, the contacts ended in 1935. There was UFO contacts starting in 1911. You know, a lot of people talk about the Roswell crash or the Magenta crash in 1933 or 37 in Italy. No, I think it was 37 in Italy. There are contact cases that go before that, which is crazy. And they're so complex, so intricate. They give you an entire map of the universe. I don't understand why more people aren't looking at it. They're called the Urantia contacts. It happened in, like I said, 1911 to 1935. 35 is when it stopped. And one of the sessions, session 47, paper 47, it's called the 7 Mansion Worlds. And it talks about 7 worlds that you could go to based on your mind, body, spirit levels down on planet Earth. This isn't in the Urantia book, but I hypothesize that this is the left star of Orion's belt. You can infer a lot of information by reading this text and correlating it with texts such as the Keys of Enoch. Shout out to JJ, shout out to Desiree. But that's a little bit of the background of what we're going to get into today. But before we do start reading, I do want to cover briefly some of the current events that's been happening past week or so and open up the floor to my brothers. For the new viewers, you know me, Debake the Wise, XDebake the Wise on Instagram. Tay Chilla at the bottom, you already know him, the Magma Sloth, and you might recognize a new face. Got a new brother in town, new member of the squad. Call him Chris Topher. Christian. No, what's your full name?
Christopher, bro.
Christopher. Okay. Yeah. Christopher. He's going to be joining us for the conversation and hopefully many more to come. So get used to his presence and we're going to dive deep. You guys got anything to say?
Yeah, there's clearly a lot of turmoil going on in the country and in the world, wherever you're watching from. You can look in just about any state with borders in the country, and there's riots, people tipping stuff over. This is disorder. What we're talking about today is order. I believe that if there's a cosmic celestial government, it represents order and maintaining what's valuable in the universe. Wherever you see disorder, there's a lack of following on this right path. Order you could correlate with reality, and as you increase disorder, you're kind of unraveling reality. It's unreality. And so sometimes these far out spiritual concepts that tickle your imagination are realer than reality because they have this healing, coordinating effect on the world around you. It's my hope that through these stimulating discussions, anyone who happens to listen can kind of resolve some of those conflicts in your mind, become a little less polarized politically. Some of the stuff I see, like those guys invading that church and all that, I'm like, this is the point we've come to, where people are willing to just act like that in public. It's crazy all over the place, all these riots and stuff. So we need to restore sanity, and sometimes the best way to do that is, uh, I don't want to say become a little less sane, but definitely diving down the rabbit hole of some of the weirdest stuff we've ever read. It can help. Pull us
You
out of
become
this.
more sane. You become more
Yeah.
sane. You know?
Pull us out of the matrix a little.
Amen. That's Pastor Tyler speaking the truth, Magma Sloth, hitting you with that altar call. But yeah, what's up, everybody? It's good to be back on a Sunday. It's snowy on the East Coast. This is going to be a great day. I guess my only kind of updates for the people is, amid all the potential unrest in the news, we're trying to get you excited about the forward progression of humanity. I just got back from DC and had an amazing experience at James Fox's documentary and filmmaker made this documentary called Moment of Contact, and he brought firsthand contactees, firsthand whistleblowers, a doctor who actually did with a live alien that was a part of a crash in Varginha, Brazil, that the military ended up picking up and bringing to a hospital. This alien was still alive. This Dr. Italo actually was the one in the hospital that they got to look at this alien and do his initial report. And I got to hear his firsthand account. And this was a big event at the National Press Club organized by James Fox, who has this whole documentary. And he is a hound dog going in hard, because the first documentary he made, he didn't have access to some of these firsthand people. He had some of the interviews done, but he found these people who were willing to go on the record, and it's a profound story. It's even sort of bigger, than Roswell, which is even more secretive, you could say. So he found all these firsthand people, and the disclosure world is popping. That was an amazing event. We got exclusive coverage. We got videos coming out soon. You can check out a preliminary live stream that we did. But I just want to say that, in the world of politics, disclosure is probably the most exciting thing you could pay attention to. And it has forward-moving motion, and it's going to change the planet. That is why what we're studying today is so important. After disclosure, after you know for a fact that aliens are real and they've been visiting planet Earth, and that we ourselves are part of multiple hybridization programs and our life was seeded, once you understand this concept that aliens are real, You're going to get into all these other weird questions that we talk about on our live streams that we're going to get into today. You know, some people in the disclosure world are going to try and tell you that the human body is a container for your soul, and that aliens have an interest in this or some sort of influence. But that is not a dark reality. That is an amazing truth that religions have guessed at for a long time, the idea of the soul, survival into the afterlife. And we actually have the Urantia contact, a contact case with many extraterrestrial beings and non-human intelligence who actually describe exact structures and processes of resurrection. Who takes that soul that gets grown up in our little human body container down here as our first life here, yeah? Who takes that and brings it somewhere else and resurrects it? And what are we doing after we wake up? That is a celestial program, and this is your inheritance, basically. You get to inherit this as part of the kingdom of the cosmos. The Galactic Federation is giving you this opportunity. Your inner divine spark, your inner light is working directly with you to do this process, to take you into eternity. And this is your greatest mission on planet Earth, is to realize your potential. And Amen. That is the potential that we're going to be talking about today. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is going to be a great one.
Yes, sir. And if you like what you hear so far, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe. There's a little bell there, so you hit the notifications every time we go live. You know when we go live. And I guess there's a new hype button, so hype that shit up. I don't know what it does, but press it. Hype button. I think it gets it to the front page or something.
Where's this?
And of course, you got like a direct, complex question that you want us to answer in the middle of us reading, and you need us to answer it. Throw in like a super chat or something, and we are obligated to answer it. So, and I guess let's jump into it. Fuck it. Actually, open the floor for Chris. What's up?
Nah, I just wanted to say, like, hey, I'm new to all this stuff. You know, think of me as like a young seedling, you know, just taking in all this information. You'll see my reaction. You guys will see like my firsthand accounts to all this stuff, you know, trying to figure it out. I'm like young, so I'm gonna reference a lot of, you know, things that are happening right now, like a lot of shows, a lot of games, whatnot.
Yeah, how old are you?
Like, I'm 19. So definitely I'm just trying to find my way around this stuff. And like the world so crazy, very crazy right now, obviously. Just one thing I wanted to say, like, hey man, like we're people. We're people at the end of the day, bro. Let's be sociable, let's talk, let's, you know, communicate, let's try to build something better for not only ourselves, but like for our kids, our future, you know, our generations down the line. Let's try to build something that's sustainable, that can help people grow, that can help people become more themselves and not just like somebody else, I guess, you know. Let's just start, you know, trying to be and more inclusive to, you know, different perspectives, different, you know, questions, different, you know, answers, bro. Not everything's right, not everything is wrong, bro. Everything's a paradox, everything's a circle inside of another circle.
Amen to that. True that. And hey,
the Urantia symbol.
Just so you know, we're all seedlings here. None of us are even 1,000 years old yet. So we're just a bunch of puppies trying to figure it out.
Exactly. And this is exciting. That's what, when we were talking about this, because me and Chris, we know each other in real life, and we just started talking, and I was like, it'd be good. We were having celestial conversations, of course, like you have with, if you know Planetary HQ in real life. And I was like, man, it'd be cool to get your reaction, because we've been having conversation for the past like week, and they're great conversations. I'm like, it'd be cool to have your reaction on the live stream. And like, this could be like documenting a great prophet in the works, you know, 70 years from now, the voice of the people. Be like, damn, remember, look at this is when it popped off right here.
Nah, bro, I'm just trying to connect, you know, people my age to something that's like, you know,
it's important.
Not everything is discovered, bro. Like there's still stuff to do. Like there's, you know, there's still so much life to live, discover. There's so much things to learn, you know what I'm saying? Like my generation, I think we're growing up into thinking everything is done already. Everything has been discovered, you know, we're already making everything new. Like, no, bro, we can make our own imprint. You can make your own clothes, you can make your own shoes, you can make your own phones, you can make your own content, bro. Like like you have the key to expressing, like exposing yourself to the world, not in a weird way, in a good way. You know what I'm saying?
We could
Let's
do
not
that.
You got that
expose
key too,
ourselves.
bud.
Planetary HQ
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that in the works later on, but you know what I'm saying? But
No, but it's so
definitely,
true. You were telling me about that the other day that, yeah, a lot of people in your generation,
yeah,
18, 19, even younger, they think that, everything's already been invented. Nothing good is ever going to happen again. But
not
it's
the truth,
very
bro.
strong when someone like you says that. Yeah, there's
It's
more
not
to
the truth.
Getting started.
experience. Yeah.
Like we're given a pretty shitty like hand of cards, but like let's shuffle them bitches up. Let's try to work with it, bro.
Mhm.
Scary money don't make money, dog. Let's do it.
We're like 2
That's
magic
what I'm
tricks
talking
away
about.
from like, whoa, how'd you get those cards in the deck? Where'd they come from?
Exactly,
Like,
bro.
shit,
Like
bro,
Yeah,
it's all
I
up.
manifested them out of the ether.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Manifestation.
The
Um,
house is on my side. Shit.
Okay, so I guess we'll jump into the reading and we'll save like a little weekly update for the halfway mark because I got some cool shit I want to say about
Cool.
ice in Minneapolis. So don't think I forgot about that, people. But we'll save that for the halfway mark. So there's Chris. Welcome, brother. And let's jump into the Urantia contact, session number 47, the 7 mansion worlds.
Oh,
And like I read in the beginning, Jesus Christ himself. Quick rundown. I say it all the time. Imagine the cosmos is like the United States. The United States is 50 different states, and we have mayors, governors, different representatives in charge of regions and counties and so forth. They all report up to the president, right? So 50 different representatives all report up to the president. The universe is also sectored out like that. And there's a celestial being in charge of every sector. Every sector reports to the grand headmaster celestial, and his name is Jesus Christ. And he incarnated on our planet 2,000 years ago to teach us. And we nailed him to a cross. What's that? Chill got some.
Oh, sorry, I'm just sharing
Okay.
the
Sharing.
text for y'all.
Cool. And so this is from Jesus Christ. Like I said, he incarnated 2,000 years ago. And when he was here, he talked about the mansion worlds, these 7 worlds that are revolving around the left star of Orion's belt. And I'm going to keep saying that because in the Keys of Enoch, written by J.J. Hurtak in 1973, he says the heavenly Jerusalem command is the left star of Orion's belt. And so let's keep going.
pretty cool connection.
Yeah. So Jesus Christ says, "In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself. That where I am, there you may be also. And where I go, you know, and the way you know." And that's so deep.
How about that one sentence there? Where I go, you go also.
You know.
Jesus was setting the standard for us. The way he lived his life, we can all live that way too. He talks about himself like he was a brother, not like he was a superior to us, even though
Exactly.
he obviously was. He was very humble about it. He said, No, I'm not your
You
God.
can do what I can.
There
Yes.
is a creator that I follow. I'm your brother. We're all brothers. We can all follow this Father,
How crazy is that? It's
following his footsteps.
the enlightenment of the celestial being is unmatched. You could just say the way he speaks, yeah, as and where I go, you know, and the way you know. Like he's talking to his brothers, the apostles, like intimately saying, "Hey, dude, I've been telling you this for a while. You know the way. Like I've been telling you, wake up, mind, body, spirit, progress, nigga. You know the way, and I told you where you're gonna go." Like,
Imagine having so much aura that the words that you speak are written down and you can feel the aura through your words, bro. Thousands of
2,000 years later.
2,000 years later,
Like,
we're still
damn, he's speaking
resonating.
facts. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I think another
And
hot
see, that's
Facts.
I was gonna say another kind of hot take is that like, think of Christendom and how it teaches you about the afterlife and heaven, right? It's a little abstract. We have a generalized idea that we're like praising God in heaven and we're ethereal, we're floating with the angels, and that's like about as much definition as we got. But like Jesus, even in the Bible, is talking about when he says there are many mansions in my Father's house. that's like some technical data here, right? It's not just one
Yeah.
big ethereal place. Mansions, well, a mansion is
Segmented
one big
sections.
building with a
It's
bunch of
architecture.
rooms in it, yeah? And what was it? There are many mansions in my father's house. Okay, so if a mansion is a massive house where a bunch of people can stay and there's tons of rooms, but there's multiple mansions in my father's
his
house, in
house.
my father's universe, what
His
does
house
that
must be
mean?
balling, dog. Yeah,
There's
mansions
different
in his
address.
house.
There are different addresses in the cosmos, in the heavenly, in the heavens, in the kingdom of heaven, that are in the Father's house. That's what Jesus said. That's like we can infer something technical about heaven that most people don't really get when they're being taught about heaven. So, we're trying to merge these two worlds here, because Urantia says it's got this unknown biography of Jesus. It's got these quotes. It's got re-explaining of all the things he did. You see some cross correlation, but you also see things like reworded in new ways, and you get all this extra detail, and you're like, whoa. Like I was looking at the Bible, and I never can these two things really mix? Well, remember, Jesus is talking to people like 2,000 years ago, right? In their context. How much more can we understand about the universe now? So we'll merge these two worlds together, and that's what this is, the Afterlife Handbook.
Good point.
Yeah.
D-Bake, say the thing you like to say about the kingdom of heaven.
Okay, so Jesus Christ also talked about the kingdom of heaven. Back in the day, they didn't have the term universe. They used the term heavens. Back in the day, they didn't have the term government. They used the term kingdom. So kingdom of heaven is the universal government or the galactic federation, depending on how you like to say it. So Jesus was down here repping Palladian Galactic Federation type shit.
I love that.
And to finish off the Bible quote, Thomas said to him, "Lord, we do not know where you are going, and how can we know the way?" See, it's so crazy how the apostles were so oblivious. Like they barely understood Jesus. And Jesus said to him, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." And you're like, damn. And it's the truth. You literally can't get to the Father in the cosmos unless you pass through Michael's section. Like it's facts.
Nice.
It's
It's
more
so sick.
aura, bro. You can just feel it, dude. You just
Yeah. Oh, and when you're talking about that, like the aura and how you can get that energy through 2,000 years of time through written on like animal skins and parchment.
That's what I'm saying.
It's because those are like light codes. He has like the highest light codes. Those images that we talk about all the time, those like the highest ancestral primordial concepts that the cosmos like hinges on. He spoke them, and then because they're so true, they reverberate through eternity. And then if we read them again, they're going to hit so hard because they're so true, Truth, I guess, reverberates through eternity. But all right, let's jump into it. Paper 47, the Seven Mansion Worlds. The Creator's Son, one on Urantia, Urantia's Earth, spoke of the many mansions in the Father's universe. In a certain sense, all 56 of the encircling worlds of Jerusalem are devoted to the transitional culture of ascending mortals. Sorry, I need a burp. Of ascending mortals, but the 7 satellites of world number 1 are more specifically known as the mansion worlds. It sucks because I can't make myself burp, but I feel it.
Got some ascension going on inside of you.
Yeah, some gas is ascending in me. Transition world number 1 itself is quite exclusively devoted to ascendant activities, being the headquarters of the Finaliter Corps assigned to Satania. This world now serves as a headquarters for more than 100,000 companies of Finaliters, and there are 1,000 glorified beings in each of these groups. So they're talking about the 7 different worlds that are revolving around the left star of Orion's belt. And it says the first planet is exquisitely devoted to ascendant activities. Yep. And it's the headquarters for Finaliters. A Finaliter is a being like us, like a human from a planet who already did the billion-year universe journey, reached the Father, and got redispatched out to help other planets. So these are like, they're beings like you who have already, quote unquote, hit perfection. They're damn near gods walking through the universe. And They're just like you, but they've already did the entire universe ascent. So the first world around the left star of Orion's belt is dedicated to them. And I want to stop saying the left star of Orion's belt. It's called Mintaka.
Okay.
Can you pull up a picture of Orion's belt for them?
Yeah, get them star charts popping.
No, sorry, it's Alnitak.
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 Yeah,
Zeta
Mintaka.
Orion.
Mintaka is where the rebels are. I just threw a picture in the chat if you want.
Alnitak.
For show. And then another thing I think to point out for the viewers is why does it call our section Satania, right? Like, what is this, Satan's territory? Well, the reason for that is that, yeah, it was. And Satan means adversary. So when they say Satania, they're referencing that we are in the adversarial section because there was an angelic rebellion. The angels are administrators. The angels are the orbs that Chris Bledsoe is interacting with, that the lady is commanding. The angels serve a role of raising the planetary or evolutionary consciousness out of animal origin into cosmic consciousness, into ascendant souls. They're like the gardeners, you could say, that actually resurrect our souls into the afterlife, and they're watching this process. They don't directly intervene in a way that like stops world wars, for example, but they work with humans and individuals on this planet that are trying to make the planet better. They work in the background. They are the ones creating some of those synchronicities that happen. There are an intelligent group of non-human intelligence known as angels. They've appeared to humans in the past. They've been recorded in various different spiritual texts with different names. And yeah, they're an integral part of planetary evolution.
So it's saying the first, what do you got, Magma?
I was just going to say, I'm breezing through the Wikipedia page here. It looks like the name Alnitak comes from Arabic, the girdle. I guess there was cultural significance of this star way back throughout history.
That's cool. Yeah, so Alnitak. So the first of the 7 planets that are surrounding Alnitak, it's the headquarters for beings who have graduated evolutionary planets like ours, got to the Father, and came back. So we have an entire like legion or company or battalion of them, not too far from us. This world now serves as the headquarters for more than 100,000 companies of finalitors, and there are 1,000 glorified beings in each of these groups. It's a lot.
Yeah,
when a system is settled, what's up?
I was going to say only several hundred parsecs from the sun.
Yeah. How many parsecs?
It just says several hundred.
Several hundred? Okay. When a system is settled in light and life, and as the mansion worlds one by one cease to serve as mortal training stations, they are taken over by the increasing finaliter population, which accumulates in these older and more highly perfected systems. Okay, I mean, you're here for Planetary HQ, and we're going to have to break that down for the people. So, light and life, it says when a system is settled in light and life. Light and life, the Urantia contacts use that term as you're maxed out on your planet. Okay. You're maxed out all your stats, pretty much. All the people are on their mind, body, spirit levels, like 90 to 99, everything. So it's like a utopia, perfect kind of world, quote unquote. That's when the planet hits light and life. When all the planets hit a sector, or when all the planets in a system hit light and life, say like 100, 1,000 planets, that system is now considered in light and life, which you could imagine would take a long time to get 1,000 planets up to that level. So we have to remember, when we die, we're going to the mansion worlds of the Alnitak. We die and go to those mansion worlds for training. But the Urantia contacts say that if our planet was in light and life, we would skip them because we'd learn all that training on our planet. That makes sense to the listeners? So if Earth was in light and life, when people died here, you'd skip the mansion world. You would skip over Alnitak because you have already got that prerequisite training on Earth. There's some more nuance in there, but we're not going to get into the nitty gritty. Imagine if an entire system of planets, say there's 100 planets in the system and they all hit light and life, none of those beings would need to go to their mansion world system anymore. They'd all bypass it. So they're saying that when that happens, those planets are not occupied anymore. They're kind of vacant because everybody's skipping over them. They're too smart. When that happens, those planets become finaliter spheres. The finaliters move in and take them over. Just interesting. You guys got anything else for that?
Yeah, it's like like the way I dumb it down in my head, the way like I break it down to myself is like imagine like a classroom or just like a classroom.
Yeah.
And once everybody passes that test, the door opens and you get to, go to like a different class. And depending on what like how I guess like how high you scored on your test, you either gotta go to this next class or you can skip this prerequisite, I guess, and you can go to this a more advanced class, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Great analogy.
And now
that's
once
basically what
everybody's
it is.
skipping that advanced class, that classroom's going to be empty. So
Yeah, that's the whole goal is to make sure that, we do what we need to do in the classroom so that you don't have to do more outside of it type of thing.
like the way you're putting it, I can take a bite of whatever you're putting out. The 7 mansion worlds are in charge of the Urantia supervisors and the Melchizedeks. You guys know Melchizedek. He's mentioned in the Bible. Taught Abraham. There is an acting governor on each world who is directly responsible for the Jerusalem rulers. The Uversa conciliators maintain headquarters on each of the mansion worlds, while adjoining is the local rendezvous of the technical advisors. The reversion directors and celestial artisans maintain group headquarters on each of these worlds. That's cool. So those are like the comics and the musicians and like the sports people, like there's intergalactic leisure, and that's the reversion directors and the celestial artisans. Chris, I was reading some quotes from the celestial artisans when we were talking about like light pulsations and the different music they have up there.
Well, that's what that is.
That's what that is. Yeah. So it says
Okay.
every Urantia planet has a headquarters for them and they're functioning heavily. So when you die and wake up, shit's going to be like, like on a tropical island with sick music and
Crazy,
shit.
bro.
Yeah.
So I got a
Um,
question.
Yeah.
So, like depending on how good you are, how like maxed out your stats are, like you still have a personality. So like would that mean that
Yes.
like if let's say like me, I'm more like a music type of guy, and then my friend over here is like more like a physical sports type of guy. Would he go to like this other part, or like what was it? This other group
like
of
Mansion World.
yeah, like what is that how it's gonna happen, or
So I would say on each mansion world there is a vast culture. I mean, we're probably going to experience some degree of culture shock when we wake up on one of these worlds because you
sure.
got our world as well as like almost 100 other or almost 1,000 other worlds in our little system, and we're all sharing that ascension circuit or whatever the mansion world system. And so you're going to encounter maybe like 900 other humanoid beings from other worlds. Uh, maybe lobster people and bat people and
Yeah.
otter people, and I can only imagine the culture would be crazy architecture, thousands and thousands of worlds of high civilization building up this, and so there would be something for everybody there. You know, like on each one of these worlds, there would be a place for musicians, a place for woodworkers to make a mess, and painters and engineers to invent stuff. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And because it's like you kind of have as much time as you kind of want, and the universe is so long and billions of years of a cosmic career, I'm sure you guys would both learn. Like you're a musician now, and he's a fitness guy now, but at one point in time, you're gonna be like, you know what, we're gonna experience the other side. So by the time you get to the father, you guys are both everything. You guys, I like everything.
Like a jack of all trades type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so they're gonna be there. You're gonna have fun there. There's comics. The reversion directors of the Celestial Comics. So the Spironga function from Mansion World number 2 onward, while all 7, in common with the other transitional culture planets and headquarters world, are abundantly provided with spornasia of standard creation. Spornasia, those are like cosmic animals. I kind of picture them like white deer for some reason. I don't know why. Like a white cosmic deer. I don't know.
I picture something like a glowing deer with like 6 legs and maybe 2 little praying mantis arms or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe like
Yeah, that
4
can like
eyes.
grab things. Yeah, but they're
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
for me, I would definitely just imagine like a invisible type of like animal shape type of thing, almost like you can
Ooh,
see through
interesting. You
it
see
type
the
of thing.
outline.
Like
Yeah,
a
like you can
forest spirit.
see it, and you can see like I guess like the energy coursing through it type of thing.
That's cool. I like that imagery.
That'd be cool. That'd be sick.
I got a quote here just to give the people a little bit of a mental image. And it's weird because when I read the name Spornasia, I think of like spores like mushrooms.
Mushroom
I don't,
spores.
you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't immediately give me like, I guess, a picture, but there's probably a root word analysis where it actually does make sense. So the Spornasia, the architectural headquarters worlds of the local universe are real worlds, physical creations. So the mansion worlds are essentially manufactured planets. That's what it means, architectural headquarter worlds. They're not
The
planets
end
of
of
like
Hitchhiker's
normal
Guide to the
like
Universe
rock,
or Hitchhiker's
right?
Guide to the Galaxy.
Like they built this, the Celestials built this entire sphere, and it's got its own energy creation system, all that stuff, right? Some people talk about like Dyson spheres, like taking planetary sun, like all this interesting ideas. Like think of it like that. And so there's much work connected with their physical upkeep, and herein we have the assistance of a group of physical creatures called Spornasia. They are devoted to the care and culture of the material phases of these headquarters worlds, from Jerusalem to Salvington. Spornasia are neither spirits nor persons. They're an animal order of existence, but if you could see them, you would agree they seem to be perfect animals. So, honestly, the picture that I just got was almost like, you know, on the Ark of the Covenant, there's like these two like beings. Like sometimes angels are depicted as these like wild animals with like multi parts.
Yeah, I know you're talking about like the foreheads.
Yeah,
mixed together and the hooves
match
and the
that
claws.
with like kind of Egyptian concepts of like these weird sphinx animals and stuff. Like, I don't know.
Oh, that's scary.
Right? It seems like I bet they're exotic. I'm just picturing them like they're exotic, but they are also like somewhat like, I don't know. And I don't know if they're energy because it says they're not spirits, but like, I don't know. I think it's wild. I think it coincides with some of what the Bible pictures as like these weird, and people think that they're angels. I think maybe they're seeing some of these Spornasia in their visions.
Ooh,
Instead of seeing angels, they're
interesting.
seeing these like cosmic animals,
Seeing
and they're
animals. I saw the angels.
like,
It's just a
and the
fucking
angels
deer.
are like, bitch, that's a Spornasia.
Yeah,
No.
the angels are like, bro, that's my dog, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, chill out. Is there is there more to that paragraph? Isn't there more explanation of
Yeah,
what
there
exactly they are?
is. Let me see. Yeah, let's see. The
I have a quote up
immediate
right
after.
here.
Yeah, go ahead and read it if you got it.
It says, perhaps I can best suggest to Earth minds something of the nature of these beautiful and serviceable creatures by saying that they embrace the combined traits of the faithful horse and an affectionate dog, and manifest an intelligence exceeding that of the highest type of chimpanzee. And they are very beautiful, as judged by the physical standards of Urantia. They are most appreciative of their attention shown to them by their material and semi-material sojourners on these architectural worlds. They have a vision which permits them to recognize, in addition to material beings, the Urantia creatures, the lower angelic orders, midway creatures, and some of the lower orders of spirit personalities. They do not comprehend worship of the infinite, nor do they grasp the import of the eternal, so they don't have the last two adjutant mind spirits. But they do, through affection for their masters, join into the outward spiritual devotions of their realms. So they only function in the first 5. Interesting.
Okay. So I wouldn't imagine Spornasia as one being, but rather a classification of all animal life that originates on architectural higher dimensional worlds.
Really? Okay, so you're saying they could look different. Like it's just Spornasia is a general classification of an ecosystem.
I feel that
of
way too,
damn,
yeah.
that'd be crack.
I think so.
That'd
Kind of
be
like how we
crack,
got
dog.
kingdom,
like that.
phylum, class, family, genus, species. It's probably
Okay.
like that on these architectural worlds. Looking up
Okay,
the
so they're able to tune those bodies in to receive the adjunct mind spirits a lot better than they can for animals on the material worlds, probably.
Yeah, and we know that the life carriers kind of experiment with life, and we even see in the Urantia book a mention of life art, like the art of making life. Like they
Yeah,
kind of
life
have
art.
fun
Yeah.
with just making life. So they might experiment. They might be like Pokemon, come in all shapes and sizes.
Come on.
Looking at the etymology of the word here,
Pokemon was true.
yeah, right. Yeah, Pokemon's just the
It's the
vision of the
One thing
afterlife.
about it though.
That'd be crazy.
I kind of did a little analysis
Change
of
the thumbnail. Pokemon's true.
yeah, the Latin roots of the word spornagia, you could break it down like spore would mean seed or origin, dispersal or generative force, and agia could mean consumption, process, state of being, condition, function. So there could be a couple of possible interpretations, but you could imagine it something like something that is carrying a cosmic seed in its being,
Beat me to it.
something like that. Beat you to it.
Who threw that in the chat? What up, Skywatch?
Yeah, that was me.
Taylor?
Yeah,
Oh.
welcome.
Skywatch, gang. That's the homie right there. Go check out his X, dude. Twitter, X, whatever you call it. He be dropping that hotness. Yeah. Who wants to read next?
Yeah, I can pick it up.
There's one more thing I want to say about the Spornasia that gives some context to these animals. It says that on Jerusalem, so that's like the capital of the Mansion Worlds. On Jerusalem, you will be amazed by the agricultural achievements of the wonderful Spornasia. There, the land is cultivated largely for aesthetic and ornamental effects. The Spornasia are the landscape gardeners of the headquarters of worlds, and they are both original and artistic in their treatment of the open spaces of Jerusalem. They utilize both animals and numerous mechanical contrivances in the culture of the soil. They are intelligently expert in the employment of the power agencies of their realms, as well as in the utilization of numerous orders of their lesser brethren of the lower animal creations, many of which are provided them on these special worlds. This order of animal life is now largely directed by the ascending midway creatures from the evolutionary spheres. So this order of life is also intelligent enough to like garden and do like art. I mean, we kind of see animals like build things that they like, even their houses. They kind of like build their own things. So picture that, but like on some artistic level, cosmic animal, like they're like doing, I don't know, gardening. Like, what is that? That's so interesting. They're gardening.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they maintain, right?
Yeah, they maintain.
Yeah, they do custodian janitorial work, I think, right?
I don't know. Is there any waste products that really relegate or need janitorial? I think it's like, it says it's like aesthetic. It's like they're animals, but when they look at like an empty space where like nothing is like made there, they kind of go in and start like, I don't know, like beavers building a dam, but it's like, it's artsy.
I mean, and I like to imagine that even in what we would imagine as a pristine, celestial, heavenly world, if you go into
you got to cut the grass, dude.
Yeah, you got to cut the grass. If you go to a celestial woodworking shop, you're going to get dust everywhere from the finest timber cut from trees across the galaxy. And so you'd have Spornasia maybe cleaning up the dust and all that.
like I'm thinking of it is like, if you guys ever watched Star Wars, like, you know how like all planets will have any type of droid on there, like a RDR2, a fucking like the gold one, you have the AT-AT, like there's different types of droids.
C-3PO.
Yeah, exactly. So like there's just different types of droids, different types of Sporasia or whatever.
Okay, like organic droids. Pretty much that's what they are if they don't have the last two editors.
Exactly. Like they can look different, but they all like serve a certain purpose, or they can like go out and have a personality and like talk to you. Like you could talk to a droid, you could talk to RDR2, like they have personalities type of thing.
Yeah, and picking oranges and stuff like that. I mean, I think that's cool. That passage also hinted that there's what did it say, mechanical contrivances that operate the fields and all that. Like this was written in the 30s. Keep that in mind, and they're already imagining like 3D printer bits picking up fruit and vegetables or something like that, like mechanical agriculture. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's something that people need to realize how old this is. It's like this is paper 47, so I'm guessing 1920 if we're ballparking it. This is way before any UFO contacts, and it's so intricate and so complex. It's so old.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is weird to think about. It says like they're smarter than a chimpanzee, but have the affection of a horse and a dog. So like, imagine all of those characteristics in one animal. Like, it's kind of hard for me to comprehend that.
Literally the perfect animal, bro.
Yeah, it's like the
Literally
perfect
the
animal.
Like
Perfect
my
animal.
man's best friend, and then like
Chimp, but a chimp brain, but smarter than a chimp.
yeah,
And you could look at it and be like, get that. And it'd look at you and be like, okay. And like goes and grabs it. And you're like, what the fuck? This is
yeah. And
crazy,
then he'll come
dude.
up to you and be like, "Why do you need this, man?"
It's okay, young one. Go to sleep.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you trying
it's
to play
true.
catch with it, and it's like, why you make me fetch this stick, bro? Like, aren't we supposed to be doing something more important? Like calls you out
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever.
I wonder if I wonder if you can train them to do sports, and they have like Spornasia competitions.
Spornasia Sports. I love that.
There's also a
All
weird
right.
bit about these beings that they actually, when their bodies like deteriorate, the life carriers make new bodies for them, and they transfer their consciousness into the new body, which is a fun fact. Like, what if you could do that with your dog? So they kind of live. I
Yeah.
guess they have kind of immortally or for a long time here on these afterlife planets. But they also, if they want to bring new Spornasia through, it says that they procreate. They're bisexual beings.
They are. Okay.
So they actually do have a procreation process, but they also transfer their consciousness into new bodies so that they be living on.
Interesting.
Pretty weird, right?
Great.
Some insight onto celestial animals, people. There you go. There you have it.
All right. I'll jump into this next section here. 1. The Finalitors World. Although only finalitors and certain groups of salvaged children and their caretakers are resident on Transitional World Number 1, provision is made for the entertainment of all classes of spirit beings, transition mortals, and student visitors. The Spornasia, who function on all of these worlds, are hospitable hosts to all beings whom they can recognize. They have a vague feeling concerning the finalitors, but cannot visualize them. They must regard them much as you do the angels in your present physical state.
Spornasia can't see finalitors.
Wow, so when we reach the end of our journey, we're like leveled up so high on like a higher dimensional level. We've kind of moved past that point, our starting point in the afterlife. It's interesting. Though the finaliter world is a sphere of exquisite physical beauty and extraordinary Urantia embellishment, the Great Spirit abode located at the center of activities, the Temple of the Finalitors, is not visible to the unaided material or early Urantia vision. But the energy transformers are able to visualize many of these realities to ascending mortals, and from time to time they do thus function. As on the occasions of the class assemblies of the Mansion World students on this cultural sphere. All through the Mansion World experience, you are in a way spiritually aware of the presence of your glorified brethren of paradise attainment, but it is very refreshing now and then actually to perceive them as they function in their headquarters abodes. You will not spontaneously visualize finalitors until you acquire true spirit vision.
Oh, wow. So we can't even see finalitors when we die.
Yeah.
They're ex-humans that hit the father.
Ex-humans.
And then we go up there and they're so nice we can't even see them. Crazy. Aura's so strong it creates like...
Yeah, bro.
It-
Fuck with this, dog.
You can't even see it. Paradoxical.
Literally John Cena up there, bro. Can't see shit.
That's what happens. You reach paradise, you turn to John Cena. Damn.
It kind of makes me think of this movie. It wasn't a great movie, but it had really creative visuals. Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. I don't know if y'all seen that.
Yeah.
There was a
Oh,
scene
I haven't.
where
Sounds cool though.
it was a cool movie. It's like the plot's kind of stupid, but it's really fun to watch visually. But there's a scene where they go to this empty desert and they put on these goggles to see what the higher dimension looks like. And it's like this bustling marketplace of higher dimensional creatures that are invisible to the naked eye. And there's all these tourists going here to put on these helmets and see what the higher dimension looks like. That's kind of what that makes me think of is
That's pretty cool.
you have a highly advanced civilization, and just on the base root level, it's highly advanced, but there's all these layers of higher dimensions stacked on top of that. So, I mean, that's crazy to me. There's like material architecture with invisible higher dimensional architecture stacked on that, and higher dimensional architecture stacked on that.
On
So
that,
it's
yeah.
very nuanced and layered.
Like a balcony to this building, but only the seraphim can use it, you know?
Yeah. Invisible doorways. That's cool.
You could kind of maybe picture it like bandwidths of different radio stations where they may
Yeah,
occupy the
yeah.
same space, but it's really like the density of their form, meaning like the energetic vibration of the atoms or
The
whatever
atoms, yeah.
whatever particles make up their form. What keeps their perception, their individual perception, what limits that into one point in time and space? That is their like form, and they're like laws of the universe that create those boundaries. For us, it's like gravity is a big one, right? And those gravitational relationships also go down to like atomic bonding relationships, what keeps atoms in like orbits together, locked in, right? Those laws, those orbits, those frequencies, the rate of vibration, we measure that in terms of what we call frequency, yeah? So we can only see up to a certain light frequency. We can only perceive that. So likewise here in the afterlife planets, even though your resurrected Urantia body is sort of like its vibration level is in the next threshold range, the next gradient, there are still more gradients above that in which beings function. But like some of them are, you could say spirit is beyond the speed of light, which is part of how the finaliters are able to travel much faster in the universe. So that average rate of vibration, you could say, of their form is is much less dense. It's more subtle. It's more energetic. It's closer to the origin of all reality, you could say, is undifferentiated. The oneness of God is undifferentiated, meaning there is no I'm over here, you're over there. All is one, the law of one. But as we get down into reality and we get that gravity emanation out from the center of the universe, things appear to look more separate, right? They kind of get locked in these orbits, atomic orbits, the forms form down, and then consciousness is placed in these specific forms. And so there's a bit of a paradox, whereas like in the afterlife, we continue to keep our personality and our individuality, but our form starts to become and vibrate closer to the original universal substrate. And we can move in and out of that substrate to the oneness of the universe and then out into the many worlds and many dimensions overlapping.
That's a great concept you brought up. In this world, in this reality we live in, our most powerful radio telescopes and electron microscopes, our most sensitive oscilloscopes can still only pick up the electromagnetic spectrum that we're limited to seeing. We can only, our oscilloscopes run off of electrons. Those can only move so fast. There could be particles that move faster than electrons that we haven't figured out how to harness, but we can only measure the 100 elements, stable elements in the periodic table. Elsewhere in this book, it mentions the Urantia realm has something like 10,000 stable elements in the Urantia periodic table. And the Urantia electromagnetic spectrum just has octaves and octaves, and it goes on and on. So there could be right here in front of us, surrounding us, spirit realities that we can't even detect with our instruments.
Yeah, ever since I was like kind of smaller, reading these spiritual texts around 10 or 11, it clicked one day in my brain way before the Urantia book when I found it. And it was like, you're never going to be able to detect the spirit dimension with material instruments, It doesn't make sense. And like going back to what Taylor was saying about frequency and vibrations and atomic oscillations, I like to look at it like frame rate, like frame rate on a camera. If I'm shooting 23 frames a second, that means my video is 20. I take 23 pictures in 1 second. That's why if you put your phone up to a screen and sometimes you see the lines on the screen going up and down, it's because the screen is refreshing at a different rate than your phone is taking pictures. So if I'm taking 23 pictures a second, but my screen is going faster, there's going to be a mismatch and you're going to get those black lines. But your eyes can't see that because your eyes refresh at a different rate. Okay. And now let's bring it down to photons, right? We're all made of light energy down to the atomic structure, and they're vibrating at a certain frequency. So I have like a photon frame limit. and so does like our reality. This material reality has a frame rate, and we all vibrate at the same time. That's why I perceive it as hard. But if you raise that frame rate, so say we're operating at 10 frames a second right now, just for the analogy, and an angel's operating at 60 frames a second, it's going to be flickering so fast it can kind of travel through our matter because it's a totally different frequency. And as you go up into a different higher celestial dimension, the frame rate goes up to like 1,000,000, and we can't see that with our eyes, but they're still here. So the finalitars are pretty much flickering and blinking so fast that you can't pick them up with your eyes, and so fast that material can't even pick them up. But they're still there. They're just literally refreshing or flickering, or the frame rate is, or the frequency vibration is so insane.
Yeah, that's a good way to explain it. I was definitely lost there for a second. You brought me back.
I heard a cool analogy that matches this. Is like, imagine a being that can move so fast from point A to point B that they're doing this and this back and forth, but they're so fast that it appears as if they're stationary in both places. Right? That's what angels can do. That's like that. I think that's closer to how angels are.
Yeah.
Interacting in our
yeah. What you call? Everybody knows the Flash, or like if you know anything.
That's funny. I was just about to bring up the Flash. Yeah.
And the Flash has a move. It's called a speed mirage. So he's moving so fast that it looks like he's standing still. Like it's a different, or like another Flash right here. But he's just moving in between so fast that he can have this one doing something different, and then this one just like standing there, I guess. But literally, it's exactly what Taylor said.
Nice. That's
it. You can find a visual representation of it online on YouTube. Just search that up.
Okay, we gotta make sure we have that in the barrel next time.
No, that's a really good one. I like that.
All right, where the heck
Spirit
was
Vision
I?
Explained.
Yeah, I think you were on the.
I think I see where I was.
You're on the last one, I'm pretty sure.
I think you're there on 4714.
Yeah, thank you. On the first mentioned world, all survivors must pass the requirements of the Parental Commission from their native planets. The present Urantia Commission consists of 12 parental couples, recently arrived, who have had mortal experience in rearing 3 or more children to the pubescent age. Service on this commission is rotational and is for only 10 years as a rule. All who fail to satisfy these commissioners as to their parental experience must further qualify by service in the homes of the material sons on Jerusalem, or in part of the probationary nursery on the finalitar's world.
Crazy. But, so that you gotta have 3 kids.
Yeah, if you don't have that experience here, then you'll get an opportunity to
mandatory
experience that in the next life.
Mandatory to raise 3 kids before you leave the mansion worlds.
Wow.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, and if you raise 3, if you raise 3 on Earth, you get out of that class if you do 3 on Earth.
What the fuck? God, that's crazy. That's funny.
I guess it's such a valuable experience as a human being. It's so humbling because now you are no longer the center of your world. You have these other little beings you got to raise and figure out how to cooperate with and train. So yeah, I could see that.
That does make sense if you really do think about it in that light, in that lens of like when our parents used to tell us like you'll understand when you have kids. Like you're not gonna understand. You're not gonna.
It clicks. Like,
yeah, exactly. It just clicks whenever you are the one that does that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like,
I'm gonna go raw for the next couple times, bro. It's crazy. I'm gonna get this shit done.
That's right. Get it over with.
That's funny.
That's so funny.
But like, think of the Trinity. It's like the Father, the Son, and the Mother Spirit. And if we need to gain experience like the Father, then we need to become a father, right? You need to,
Trinity, bro. You need your own.
You need to become a mother. Yeah, you need to become a mother, so that and when you feel that's literally like that ancestral cosmic energy. You have like a direct circuit to like the first father mother creation, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. It's like a part of the cosmic circuits. So yeah,
it's trippy, bro.
And if you don't do it here, you have to do it up there. Yeah.
Interesting. But irrespective of parental experience, Mansion World parents who have growing children in the probation nursery are given every opportunity to collaborate with the Urantia custodians of such children regarding their instruction and training. These parents are permitted to journey there for visits as often as 4 times a year. And it is one of the most touchingly beautiful scenes of all the ascending career to observe the Mansion World parents embrace their material offspring on the occasions of their periodic pilgrimages to the finaliter world. While one or both parents may leave a mission world ahead of the child, they are quite often contemporary for a season. No ascending mortal can escape the experience of rearing children, their own or others, either on the material worlds or subsequently on the finaliter world or on Jerusalem. Fathers must pass through this essential experience just as certainly as mothers. It is an unfortunate and mistaken notion of modern peoples on Urantia that child culture is largely the task of mothers. Children need fathers as well as mothers, and fathers need this parental experience as much as do mothers.
Amen. Tell the ladies that. Shit.
Exactly.
This next one, part 2, this is such a deep
heart-wrencher.
paragraph, and it pulls at your heartstrings. So be prepared, viewers. But it answers one of the deepest cosmic mysteries you could ever fucking fathom, and one of the darkest ones too.
Who's next?
So Taylor, do the honors.
Here we go. The probationary nursery. The infant receiving schools of Satania are situated on the finaliter world, the first of the Jerusalem transition culture spheres. These infant receiving schools are enterprises devoted to the nurture and training of the children of time, including those who have died on the evolutionary worlds of space before the acquirement of individual status on the universe records. In the event of the survival of either or both of such a child's parents, the guardian of destiny deputizes her associated cherubim as the custodian of the child's potential identity, charging the cherubim with the responsibility of delivering this undeveloped soul into the hands of the Mansion World teachers in the probationary nurseries of the Urantia worlds. It is these same...
I guess let's just fucking hit the nail on the head in that first paragraph. They're talking about when kids die too early, when children die. And I guess it'll explain it for itself. But pretty much, if a child dies too young, one of the parents, the child's held in probation, held in sleep. And according to this, so like say if my kid died, my seraphim has an assistant cherubim, and that my seraphim would tell my cherubim to take custody of my kid's dead soul and bring it to the Mansion Worlds in Almatak Orion. And it would be held there in stasis until me or Jessica died. And when one of us dies, one of the parents dies, when we wake up on the Mansion Worlds, that's when the child will wake up as well. So if your kid did die and it was young, it's very sad, I know, but when you die, you'll wake up and be reunited, which is kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
It is. The life of a child, like I think as soon as a child is conceived, that's a new potential personality that's added to the universe that's completely unique, could never exist under any other circumstances. So that personality has to be able to find expression. That's what's valuable, irrespective of the material vehicle that would carry that personality. One analogy I've thought of that I like to think about from time to time regarding death and losing a loved one is kind of like dropping a kid off on their first day of school in kindergarten, and most kids will cry. They're like, "Mom, don't leave me here. Like, what are you doing? How could you abandon me in this place?" They cry. It's the most traumatic thing for them. Then they have their day at school, and then you come and pick them up, and they're like, "Oh, that wasn't so bad." I think of that as when you lose a loved one. You cry because you feel like you lost them. Like, how could you leave me on this godforsaken rock? But then, sure enough, you're going to die and wake up and see them again. And it's just like, oh, you're waiting for me at the end of class. You know, we're here in our boot camp here on this world. Okay. It's a very emotional, rough experience, but we'll be reconnected with our loved ones right afterwards.
Yeah. Very interesting. The secrets of the universe in the probationary nursery. It is these same deserted it is these same deserted cherubim who, as mansion world teachers, under the supervision of the Melchizedeks, maintain such extensive educational facilities for the training of the probationary wards of the Finalators. These wards of the Finalators, these infants of ascending mortals, are always personalized as of their exact physical status at the time of death, except for reproductive potential. This awakening occurs at the exact time of their parental arrival on the first mansion world, and then are these children given every opportunity as they are to choose the heavenly way, just as they would have made such a choice on the worlds where death so untimely terminated their careers.
So that's some good insight onto the administration of the mansion worlds. They say right there, on the mansion worlds, you're going to experience a lot of mansion world teachers. And they're kind of like the staff of the mansion worlds. They'll tell you where to go if you're lost, kind of tell you, give you the rundown. And it says that the mansion world teachers are made up of those deserted cherubim. So like if your kid dies, and like I said, my cherubim takes his soul, that cherubim would be considered deserted, quote unquote, as in it's now functioning as a mansion world teacher on the mansion worlds. So it gives you insight on how they gain their ranks for these positions, these staff positions.
Yeah. On the nursery world, probationary creatures are grouped according to whether or not they have adjusters, for the adjusters come to indwell these material children, just as on the worlds of time. Children of pre-adjuster ages are cared for in families of 5, ranging in ages from 1 year and under up to approximately 5 years, or that age when the adjuster arrives. Quick note for everyone watching, and thanks for everyone joining. We got some new names in the chat, I think. The adjuster is the divine fragment. It's the God within that is actually this sort of fragment of the infinite consciousness that partners with you, because your personality and consciousness can exist on its own without this fragment. But this fragment works in your mind and it adjusts your thoughts. That's why they call it a thought adjuster, right? And it works best when you specifically ask for its advice about your life and your decisions and where you want to go. And when you harmonize with that adjuster, it can literally take you out of this universe. And that's part of the ascension inheritance, right? So we get that adjuster, and it says that arrives during our early childhood, normally when we make our first moral decision, because now we're in the realm of making choices about our ascension and choices about right and wrong, and harmonizing with the universe versus order versus disorder, service to self versus service to others, all that.
Yeah, you get what you put in, as Christialia puts it. It's input export. You put something in, you got the
export.
Input export. Yeah, you got the garden of the mind, and are you going to let a bunch of weeds grow in that garden, consuming a bunch of filth? That was one of your first videos, D-Bake, consuming the consumption of fecal matter. It depends what kind of media,
mental feces.
what kind of information you take in on a daily basis will determine, how paranoid or how agitated you are, or how wholesome you feel on the inside. If you're taking in a lot of creative sources, your imagination is going to be more stimulated, and your thought adjuster is going to have more to work with in your mind.
Yes, sir. Give your adjuster something to work with, please.
Yeah, bro, don't have them starving, man. Some of these
Right.
doctors are starving, bro.
You're right.
Like they're like really just trying to like start a fire with like 2 sticks type of thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep. Doom scrolling on TikTok.
Right. Meanwhile, that little they're like in the background. That little flutter in your soul that you always shut down. That's the adjuster talking to you. So all children on the evolving worlds who have thought adjusters, but before death had not made a choice concerning the paradise career, are also repersonalized on the finaliter world of the system, where they likewise grow up in the families of the material sons and their associates, as do those little ones who arrived without adjusters, but who will subsequently receive the mystery monitors after attaining their requisite age of moral choice. So that answers for the Christians out there. That's an age-old question as well, because they think, it's always about this thing about salvation is a big definition that's important to really every religion. How do we get to heaven? What if my kid were to pass away before they could really make a decision about if they want to go to heaven, if they want to pursue the truth of the universe? Well, good news, they get resurrected anyway, and there's more time afterward on these initial mansion worlds to make those decisions, to grow up, because those are also physical planets and places that can give them the necessary experiences to figure out what they want out of life. And the material sons and daughters is actually a physical race of, you could say they're kind of like space opera beings. They are like a cosmic race of beings that also serve the evolutionary planets, but their home planet is on these architectural spheres, and they will rear these children who have died prematurely on Earth, on other alien planets, and that's like Mowgli, except instead of being raised by bears, you're raised by cosmic alien. I don't know how you call them.
Yeah. And for the people out there, the material sons and daughters, that's another name for Adam and Eve's. So 37,000 years ago, Adam and Eve landed on our planet. They were of the material sons and daughter classification. So when you say a kid dies from Earth and goes up there, that's the Adam and Eve, one of their headquarters. They get raised by Adam and Eve. So they're in good hands. They're in good hands. And it's cool that they're kind of showing us the classification of how they split it up. Because it says, you don't get an adjuster until you're like 3, 4, 5-ish, depending on your first moral choice. And then that's like the first break in groups. And then after that, if you've got an adjuster but still haven't made the choice of the paradise career, then there's like a next class. Kind of cool.
So the adjuster indwelt children and youths on the finaliter world are also reared in families of 5, ranging in ages from 6 to 14. Approximately, these families consist of children whose ages are 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14. Anytime after 16, if final choice has been made, they translate to the first mansion world and begin their paradise ascent. Some make a choice before this age and go on to the ascension spheres, but very few children under 16 years of age, as reckoned by Urantia standards, will be found on the mansion worlds. Wait, they're not. If they're not on the where are they going? If they make the choice and then they're going somewhere next.
Keep growing up. I think it's just saying compared, at least the way I interpreted it, comparatively, the whole population demographic, everyone's probably looks like they're in their 30s or 40s or 50s, probably ranging from hundreds to thousands of years old. So it's a very small minority, the group of actual children that.
Yeah, I'm just picturing what's the next direct step after Mansion Worlds? Is it the system capital? Is that Jerusalem? Yeah, so most of all the kids on the Mansion Worlds where we directly wake up, most of them have already gone to the system capital. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I guess because this is all on world number 1.
Oh,
there's a general population, and then there's a probation nursery that's fenced off on world 1, and then at 16, if they make the choice, they let them out to general population.
Got it. Yeah. So we might meet some new arrivals, or some young bloods that were part of that probationary nursery. Because we wake up in the mansion world.
If you see a young gun, you'd assume they're from the probation.
Yeah. Got it.
Unless they were they died at 16 on Earth right after they made the decision, then they could probably go directly to the mansion world.
Got it. All right.
It's interesting to see their standards of measurement, how they measure beings in the cosmos. We measure shit by material and bank accounts. They're nah. It's about moral decisions and cosmic attainment.
Experience, bro.
Yeah.
The capacity of experience.
That's weird. One of the UFO contacts, I guess they were talking to a Gray. I forget which one it was. And they were trying to talk about time, and the Gray didn't understand the concept of time. It only understood the concept of stacking experiences. And I was like,
Ooh.
oh, that's trippy.
Man, that's hard. That's
Yeah.
hard, bro.
It's like so like they didn't even think in times. They were like, when I was in this stage, when I was in the probation nursery, when I
We're
was in
like,
Mansion
how
World
old
1,
were you
when I
then?
was, what
And they're like,
do you mean age? I don't know.
That-
They don't
that-
stare at the wall.
That's one of the trippiest paradoxes I've thought about recently, is that there is no such thing as time. We perceive time because
No.
we're born. We record the orbit of the planet rotating, but if you were to float out at some point in the universe and
It
there's
goes out the window.
there's no context for a day-night
Just bath real quick.
cycle, years, calendars being written down. There's technically no time, especially think about like a event horizon of a black hole. Time slows down, whatever. Yeah, what a trip.
There's no Mondays up there, bro.
That's
no
right.
Mondays at all, bro.
No Mondays. No hump
Mhm.
days.
Every day is the weekend, dog.
Yeah. Every day is a holiday.
Guardian Seraphim attend these youths in the probationary nursery on the finaliter world, just as they spiritually minister to mortals on the evolutionary planets, while the faithful Spornasia minister to their physical necessities. And so do these children grow up on the transition world until such time as they make their final choice. Oh, so it is like Mowgli. The Spornasia raise the kids with the angels.
Damn.
When
cool.
material life has run its course, if no choice has been made for the ascendant life, or if these children of time definitely decide against the Havona adventure, death automatically terminates their probationary careers. There is no adjudication of such cases. There is no resurrection from such a second death. They simply become as though they had not been. But if they choose the paradise path of perfection, they are immediately made ready for translation to the first mansion world, where many of them arrive in time to join their parents in the Havona ascent. After passing through Havona and attaining the deities, these salvaged souls of mortal origin constitute the permanent ascendant citizenship of paradise. These children, who have been deprived of the valuable and essential evolutionary experience on the worlds of mortal nativity, are not mustered into the core of finality.
Damn.
That's the only hitch. If you die as a kid, you
Missing
don't
out.
become a finaliter
Hmm.
because you don't have that experience of a
Yeah, from A to
mortal
Z.
on the planet Earth. Yeah.
Interesting.
So
See,
I
so
think you become a paradise citizen. You like stop at Havona. I think you're a permanent Havona resident.
wow. I mean, which is still probably nice, but you'll
Yeah.
never be one of the elites, which, I mean, we take for granted how much
You'll
life
never be one of these.
we take for granted how much life sucks here, but that's kind of the point, you know? This is our boot
Yeah.
camp. It has to suck because it's creating this rugged character. So who wants to pick up the next one? Chris, do you want to read? Are you comfortable with that, or you want to pass it to D-Bake?
Hey, bro, I can read.
All right.
I can
Oh,
read.
he can read. Just making sure.
I can read.
Nice. Just
I
making
don't know
sure.
about these 18, 19-year-olds anymore. TikTok
Yeah.
brain over here.
My attention span is pretty long.
Nice.
It's not 30 seconds to but
You can chop it down to 15-second videos you can scroll through. That'll be easier.
yeah, I gotta have AI read this to me actually.
Give me a summary.
Yeah. Huh? Okay, cool. On the mansion worlds, the resurrected mortal survivors resume their lives just where they left off when overtaken by death. When you go from Urantia to the first mansion world, you will notice considerable change, but if you had come from a more normal and progressive sphere of time, you would hardly notice the difference except for the fact that you were in possession of a different body. The tabernacle of flesh and blood has been left behind of the world has been left behind on the world of nativity. The very center of all activities on the first mansion world is the resurrection hall, the enormous temple of personality assembly. This gigantic structure consists of the central rendezvous of the seraphic destiny guardians, the thought adjusters, and the archangels of the resurrection. The life carriers also function with these celestial beings in the resurrection of the dead. Ooh.
That's right. And if you remember in the Bible, they talk about the archangels of the resurrection with trumpets raising the dead.
Yeah. Whoa.
Ooh, what Bible verse is that? First Corinthians 15:52. It will happen in a moment, in the blink of an eye, when the last trumpet is blown. For when the trumpet sounds, those who have died will be raised to live forever, and we who are living will be transformed. There's a couple of other quotes they talk about the archangels of resurrection blowing trumpets. I think in Revelation too.
I wonder if blowing trumpets is their analogy to the primitive minds of 2,000 years ago, some kind of like harmonic sound wave manifestation of your new body being materialized.
Remember the Seraphim video that we saw taken off? You hear that?
Like,
that
yeah,
noise.
they're like harmonic transducers, and they're like, just tell them trumpets, they'll understand
But
that.
they'll get it.
Well, yeah,
and
trumpets
then right
are
here,
like
first.
an instrument, but there's an instrumentation that will be a part of that resurrection process because it is like technical. You know, there's angels are like taking your sleeping soul and like adjusting and tuning it to your new body, and they do this en masse in groups, resurrecting a bunch of people at once.
Yep. And another quote from First Thessalonians 4:16. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet call of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. Then the last trumpet from Revelation signifies the final climatic sound in a series of events, with some links to the seventh trumpet in Revelation, which signals the end of the age and victory over death. And also, you know, the Hebrews, they had that ram horn that they blew for trumpet for like calling people in, like for communication. So it's just showing that there are different bits and pieces scattered throughout the Bible that talks about the resurrection call that they're talking about. Because right now we're talking about the archangel resurrection halls. So pretty cool.
I shared a few images from an article which
Jesus
I
Christ, yeah.
shared the link to in the YouTube chat. But this article goes into deep. It goes into a lot of depth about the math and the actual harmonics that make up the human body, and it is sound wave somatics. It makes sense. You can chart out the human body as little pockets and zones of sound waves making this form. It's a total mystery why that works, why DNA causes cells to unfold in this way, but it's following a very harmonic ratio and pattern. And so it makes sense that truly ancient celestial technology would be able to reproduce a human body that your mind could become entrained with, your soul could inhabit, and you would recognize it as, oh, this is my vehicle. Cool.
Biomorphic resonance.
Biomorphic resonance. There you go.
Yeah, that's tight. A fucking cool concept. It makes sense.
We get to learn the art of resurrection on our journey
as we ascend. When we become finalators, we can resurrect
someone
people
else
up.
Resurrect. They're like, look, you gotta blow the trumpet like in this like weird way, like add this little flare, and if you miss that, they're gonna come out deformed, and you gotta redo it. We gotta re-encode them into a new avatar.
And then redo it.
That's crazy.
Don't mess it up. Okay, you ready? Go.
You know what? You mentioned biomorphic resonance. I saw this experiment with these tadpoles developing in an embryo.
Yes.
They would inject a retardant that would cause it to be deformed. It's like missing an eye and it's all malformed. And they would use what is it, bioelectricity and like harmonic fields to restore its normal voltage patterns in its brain while it's still developing in the embryo. When it hatches out a little frog egg, it's totally normal. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Just by putting it in electromagnetic fields. It's
pretty cool, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trip.
So let's keep it going.
The mortal mind transcripts and the active creature memory patterns as transformed from the material levels to the spiritual or the individual possession of the detached thought adjusters. These spiritized factors of mind, memory, and creature's personality are forever a part of such adjusters. The creature mind matrix and the passive potentials of identity are present in the Morancha soul, entrusted to the keeping of the seraphic destiny guardians, and it is the reuniting of the Morancha soul trust of the seraphim and the spirit mind trust of the adjuster that reassembles creature personality and constitutes resurrection of a sleeping survivor.
Dude, what you just read is the highest, most technical breakdown of what actually happens for a human being in the afterlife. They're breaking it down like a science, like like if you're looking at a diagram of a motor, like if you're a mechanic and they know how to work on engines, like they're breaking it down. There's no higher breakdown than this, what you just read right there. It's saying that your mind matrix is held in your thought adjuster. And like what they say, your Urantia soul, we like to say plasma. So like your soul's made of this like plasma energy. That's you. You're Deadrick Baker, me. And then my adjuster inhabits me. And we start linking up to become one superhuman fucking Avenger, right? My mind matrix, like I said, is with the adjuster's trust. And my Urantia soul, plasma, my plasma soul is in the seraphim. When I die, the adjuster goes to the father and registers for like 3 days. He like dumps all your experience into the father for 3 days, and your seraphim go to Orion Onatok. After those 3 days, when they come back together, you appear, you repersonalize. So I was giving you the breakdown exactly on how resurrection happens.
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely. That's way easier concept to visualize in my brain.
Yep.
And
so when you die, that's what's going to happen.
people also wonder like the nature of memory in the afterlife. I think this is like an important detail. If you've talked about like different ideas, like we're not going to remember anything from Earth, or we're going to remember just the best parts, or we won't remember. Like some people talk about like the general concept is that like, well, if there's no sin in heaven, then if we remember the bad stuff, that's going to bring sin into heaven, isn't it? And it's a little more like the adjuster holds like everything that's valuable, and it's not that, yeah, like it preserves those memory transcripts, and it does sort of give them back to you when you're resurrected, but it's not like, yeah, I don't know, it's a lot more complex than just being like, we don't remember because that would bring some sort of impurity into heaven. One, it's like,
it's not like that.
in a sense, I guess what they're thinking of is that like when you're really all the way as a finaliter in the presence of the deity at the center of the universe, that focal point that actually, when you exit the universe, you're experiencing that connection with the all. At that point, I don't doubt that like all those memories from your mortal life are almost nothing, because that's, you've had a billion years, like you've done all this other things. You're so much in harmony with, and that's what your whole ascension career is becoming more harmonious with the actual realness of the universe. And your mortal days as a young punk on whatever planet you grew up on are going to be minuscule, right? So like you won't bring any attachment to that concept into the presence of the Trinity there in heaven. But here on the Urantia worlds, you are still working through those experiences, and they get, when you're resurrected, those experiences, you remember them, and you get to progress. You pick up where you left off.
I've got a perfect analogy for you guys. If you don't mind me sharing my screen for a minute, I got to show you this. I'm going to trip you guys out. Go ahead and share my screen here.
You stimulated a thought in my mind. I lost it.
Oh, this will bring it back. I'm sure of it. All right. So there's this really good animation made by Drew Barry, showing RNA transcription in the cell. This is how information is copied from your DNA into proteins. So you see this gene library. It's storing information just like your thought adjuster stores your memory matrix that you form throughout your life. And you got these little molecular machines here running across your DNA and pooping out little copies. That's RNA, and that's going to go up, get further processed by other molecular machines. And
look at these structures that exist in your body, dude.
it is mind-boggling. It is a freaking trip. So I'll skip ahead here. You can see the clockwork accuracy of these molecular machines just splitting your DNA and making duplicates of it.
Duplicating it, yeah. It's literally splitting your DNA and then making 2 new strands from it. That one going in.
Accuracy.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
And we know, like, this is mind-boggling. How could something evolve like this on accident? But the Urantia book tells us in order of angelic beings, the life carriers, devote thousands and thousands of years to studying this in their laboratories. They're programmers. They work with programming molecules and figuring out how you fold it one way, and it creates a repetitive pattern. And if you arrange these little pieces of molecular machinery, you get this result. And so what you see right here, this this little molecular machine. It's a plumbus.
Plumbus.
You see this little plumbus
Plumbus
goes into
mentioned.
the schlorp, and it spits on it, makes some schleam.
Yo, that's crazy.
So my analogy here, imagine this DNA strand is your life, your whole timeline, and this molecular machine is like your thought adjuster, is creating a duplicate of it. This, I'll skip ahead here. This eventually gets, folded up into a protein as is processed by these other machines, and this protein can go on to serve a greater function. Likewise, you have a duplicate created of you in your life that flies up into space, just as that protein flies out of the nucleus, floats up into the cytoplasm of the cell. Your soul floats up out of the nucleus of this planet into the cytoplasm of the Urantia realm. And you're folded into a protein, you can
adjuster
imagine.
act like RNA transcription.
That's right. So, as above, so below. We're seeing patterns on the smallest level replicating something that happens on a grander scale.
Beautiful analogy.
Beautiful analogy. Good. I like that.
And shout out to Jeff and Susan Meyer from the Urantia community. We got to get Jeff on the podcast. He's really scientific minded, but he was talking in a conference 2 conferences ago, and he was giving a workshop, and he said something that was really compelling. He was like, the Urantia book says the Seraphim will take your Urantia soul to the mansion worlds. But then he said that he thinks that because it would be too much mass to transport, something that's heavy. He says that the Seraphim would take one part of your DNA and transport your DNA to Alnatok and then generate your Urantia body from that DNA strand so that your next Urantia soul can fit in it like a glove perfectly.
That's cool.
And I was like, I like that idea.
It does say that you basically look like you did on Earth. And so it would make sense that what template are they using to make it look like you did on Earth? Well, your DNA holds that template. Unless there's some other part that holds a template. That's the most direct example for us is like, well, that template's in our DNA, but also maybe they have like a modifier because it says that we don't have like a reproductive system and our organs are different. We don't necessarily have like the same organ system for food and waste.
We don't poop.
Right.
Kim Jong-un.
So I guess, they take our DNA and then they got that little modifier that like gets rid of our genitals and and some of the unnecessary organs. And then they like,
movies.
They just generate it. So some Avatar shit.
Yeah, that is trippy. And it's like if you notice all the contact cases, like the Greys and the Matilda O'Donnell McElroy from the biologics and the birds and bees and the corporations that trade DNA. If you think about it, DNA is pretty much a sample of a container, right? And you can get exotic containers that might have different abilities.
There's a market.
So there's a market for container DNA strands, and maybe that's why the rebellion gray races are out there collecting different ones to try to synthesize their own container artificially. Going back to what Taylor said about like when you reach the Father, it's gonna be like a billion years later when you go to the center of the universe and reach paradise face to face. You're gonna have to remind me I was a black person on Earth, Like, oh yeah, I was a black guy at one point. I forgot about that. Damn, that was a while ago. Like
you're
not gonna identify.
Guy.
Yeah, you're not gonna identify with these low Earth concepts anymore. So like we need to get over the differences now.
True that.
We all bleed the same, bro.
That's right. That's right.
Keep going for a little bit and then we can call it. We're getting close to that time, I guess.
If a transitory personality of mortal origin should never be thus reassembled, the spirit elements of the non-surviving mortal creature would forever continue as an integral part of the individual experiential endowment of the one-time indwelling adjuster. Um, From the temple of new life, there extend seven radial wings, the resurrection halls of the mortal races. Each of these structures is devoted to the assembly of one of the seven races of time. There are 100,000 personal resurrection chambers in each of these seven wings, terminating in the circular class assembly halls, which serve as the awakening chambers for as many as 1 million individuals. These halls are surrounded by the personality assembly chambers of the blended races of the normal post-Adamic worlds. Regardless of the technique which may be employed on the individual worlds of time in connection with with special or dispensation,
Dispensational.
yeah, resurrections, the real and conscious reassembly of actual and complete personality takes place in the resurrection halls of Mans Mansonia. Number
Yeah.
one, throughout all eternity, you will recall the profound memory impressions of your first witnessing of these resurrection mornings.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So Mansonia number one, that's just the world for Mansion World number one. Mansonia 2, 3, 4, and so forth. And it's kind of crazy that it's kind of showing you it's either based off racial genetics or it's if we're not talking about the physical DNA, it could be your biomorphic color because red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, those are different color waves. It says that the first temple in the center is dedicated to the 7 different colors. So red man, orange. So if you are on a pre-planetary prince or whatever, or if you're before you're fully mixed through the Adam and Eve stage and you resurrect, if you're like a red man, an indigo man, a yellow man, you resurrect in that specific hall. But then outside of that is designated for post-Adamic worlds of blended people. So it's interesting. I guess you're resurrecting based off your race and how much blended you are, I guess.
Well, if it is
Yeah.
really, I mean, it says it's a bit of a technical process, so maybe that's just the best way to organize it because they're having groups of DNA. Like, maybe they don't want to do it all like random. They section it out.
Right.
Yeah,
Let's just do all the red DNA here, all the blue DNA here. Let's not fucking get all crazy with it. Yeah.
And it might make sense when you first wake up. Let's say you're a Native American, you wake up, you're surrounded by other people that have a similarity and a likeness to you. So you're waking up, seeing all your family and all that. Then you can go out and start mingling with the other races.
So what's like a Native American bird person look like?
Yeah,
Native American like bat person? Because I'm assuming because these are a bunch of different planets waking up in the same resurrection hall.
Yeah.
That's right. You got like slug people. You got a yellow slug guy and a blue slug guy.
What color do you think you guys are? Like, what color?
Oh, it's by your. It's. I mean, it's.
like
it's by the races.
We're mostly blended now.
You'd be like red, but mixed. Yeah.
So I'll say there's a reason why there are different races on Earth. That wasn't an accident. It's because each race takes on a different flavor. Have you heard of the chakras?
Yeah.
I kind of like to correlate it with the chakras. You could almost think of like rays of light, and you got the red man in the Urantia book. They correlate that with the Native Americans. The orange man,
the North American,
is kind of extinct, but lives on in like Mexico and the Middle East and stuff. The yellow man would be the Asians. Green man would be like Polynesians, from my understanding. Blue man would be like the Europeans. Indigo man would be black people. And the violet race would be celestial blood that came down and started integrating. So in the modern day, none of us are really a pure colored race. We're all kind of mixed at this point.
We're all mixed. Yeah, it says everybody's mixed. We're all, even though you don't really see it, we're all super mixed.
The elites are dripped down in the purple, bro.
Yeah.
Royalty, dog.
That's right.
You talking about how they manage their bloodlines and everything?
Yeah, no, they think they are.
Yeah.
We're the real violet race right here, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's because there's different celestial hybrid programs, and they didn't all go as planned, and some of them were out of the correct order. And so, yeah, the Anunnaki bloodlines we think are, when the Illuminati talk about like bloodlines and stuff, and we wonder like, are they in communication with extraterrestrials? It's partly because early on they tried to preserve the Anunnaki bloodline. I don't know if by now they actually have, but even
how
kings
fucking
2,000
crazy
years ago
looking
were
they
into
are with the
that
big
stuff.
chins and shit.
They were like,
The
we come from the
Habsburg jaw.
divine lineage.
Inbred. I would like to answer a question of Enon Hotep in the chat. What is the difference between being reincarnated and resurrected, really? If you're resurrected into a new form, even if it's based on your own DNA, isn't that essentially being reincarnated? I got a pretty simple way of looking at this. Your thought adjuster will carry you on to, rematerialize a new body for you, and you survive after death. If you really just identify with reality, as long as you're not like a sinister, evil serial killer kind of person. If you are an evil serial killer kind of person, you identify with unreality, you reject reality, so you fail to survive. So your thought adjuster has to go on and inhabit a new mortal in a new life on a new world. And it might have to do that like 30 times before it finally reached you. You are like the chosen one. You're going to survive. I know it. And so when you survive and you're resurrected, you can start to remember over time your past lives, those failed attempts that your thought adjuster had to inhabit. Maybe 30 times in the past, you've had 30 failed attempts of a life you lived. You were a horrible person. You just couldn't get it. And so those become kind of integrated with your personality and kind of become your past lives. So that is reincarnation in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I think another angle for Anon Hotep here, and I think it's kind of what he's asking, is that like I like to call it forward incarnation or forward reincarnation, because just the word reincarnation by itself, if you're not taking like too much of the historical context, you're just like, incarnation is when a consciousness kind of gets into the limited body form, right? Gets encoded into the limited body form. And then reincarnation is when, previously existing consciousness gets encoded into a new form. So yes, it is reincarnation in that sense, especially because it's using a similar body type that's sort of just upgraded a little bit. But it's not, basically what Urantia is saying is that the universe is set up for forward reincarnation, forward incarnation, and each time it actually says there are close to 500 different variations of your Urantia body that you will go through that are like measurable changes, yeah? Because you're going from Urantia to pure spirit form. And as you learn and as you vibrate with the cosmos, you start to lose more and more of that material aspect. And each of those stages is like a change, or like I don't know how drastic those like upgrades are, but it's like a I don't know, a type of incarnation, you could say. But Earth got messed up because the angelic administration here did not agree with the ascension program of the universe. They tried to set up an alternate ascension scheme because they thought that the finaliter journey, that the finaliters would come back, and they were like, so did you meet God? And the finaliters like couldn't really describe it to them, like what it was really like or something. Like to the angels, they were like, we think this is a sham, like there is no God up there. And so they tried to do their own thing on Earth, which is why we have a lot of different ideas about how ascension works, why there's different alternate theories that even go as far to say that some of these rebellious angels stopped souls from leaving Earth on the normal resurrection path to the mansion worlds and created alternate systems here to keep them on Earth, to keep them alive in some false afterlife, you could say. And I think that is really where most of the prison planet ideology and mystery comes from. But that stuff was resolved formally when Jesus incarnated and took back the planet and was like, okay, this is him deposing the planetary prince. This is also recorded in the Bible. But yeah, there's a lot of, I guess, speculation on how bad it really got and what those angels were doing with the souls in the sleeping survivors. But yeah, it's supposed to be forward incarnation. You're not supposed to come back to the same planet over and over again and forget everything.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Like, who builds a system to go backwards to break down the system type of thing? It's
Yeah,
just
right.
like that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would somebody set it up that way?
What would be the point?
Yeah, like just don't make it at all type of thing.
Yeah.
Just like,
It's all for nothing.
but
Yeah.
but yeah, like I think that's how we should look at like society and trying to like if we're trying to ascend or trying to be I guess connect with what we're supposed to connect to. I think it's all about forward progression, forward thinking, never like taking what we learned in the past in history and just using those mistakes to build upon, build a steady foundation type of thing, just to keep on pressing forward, bro.
Yes. I guess debate left or something.
He was frozen there, so it's probably his internet cut out.
Oh crap.
Oh,
But
snap.
yeah, you're good to continue reading a bit, and then we'll pick a time spot here. We'll see how much we have left. Maybe you could finish out this section, and then we'll
Bet.
figure out if we'll end it for the day and do a part 2 next week.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll start up again. From the resurrection halls, you proceed to the how do you say that name
Melchizedek.
again?
Melchizedek.
Melchizedek sector, where you are assigned permanent residence. Then you enter upon 10 days of personal liberty. You are free to explore the immediate vicinity of your new home and to familiarize yourself with the program which lies immediately ahead. You also have time to gratify your desire to consult the registry and call upon your loved ones and other Earth friends who may have preceded you to these worlds. At the end of your 10-day period of leisure, you begin the second step in the paradise journey, for the mansion worlds are actual training spheres, not merely detention planets. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Fire. You get to page
You
the
get,
homies.
yeah, bro. Yeah, you just like want to see like what my bro's doing. Like he already died. He's already on that. You just
Yeah.
want to see like how he's checking up on him.
It's like, man, you missed so much. Let me show you the ropes.
Yeah, your homie's like, yo, you finally made it. That's crazy. That's cool. Like I like that they give you a chance to familiarize yourself with like all this new stuff, and you get to even call your loved ones, like get some closure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. On Mansion World number 1 or another case of advanced status, you will resume your intellectual training and spiritual development at the exact level whereon they were interrupted by death. Between the time of planetary death or translation and resurrection of the Mansion World, mortal man gains absolutely nothing aside from experiencing the fact of survival. You begin over there, right where you leave off down here. Almost the entire Almost the entire experience of Mansion World number 1 pertains to deficiency ministry. Survivors arriving on the first of the detention spheres present so many and such varied defects of creature character and deficiencies of mortal experience that the major activities of the realm are occupied with the correction and cure of those manifold legacies of life in the flesh on the material evolutionary worlds of time and space. The sojourn on Mansion World number 1 is designed to develop mortal survivors at least up to the status of the post-Adamic dimension on the normal evolutionary worlds. Spiritually, of course, the Mansion Worlds are far in advance of such a state of mere human development. If you are not detained on Mansion World number 1, at the end of 10 days you will enter the translation sleep and proceed to the world number 2. And every 10 days thereafter, you will thus advance until you arrive on the world of your assignment.
Cool. So probably most people will wake up on Mansion World number 1 and they got a lot to learn. But
Yeah.
then there's smaller minorities of people who are just real go-getters in this life. They're like, all right, we're bumping you up a few planets. You've graduated. Then yeah, you still get to at least see the first few mansion worlds, explore for 10 days, but you don't have to get detained there and like complete the course or whatever before moving on.
I think that's sick. Like you like you're not skipping out on experience because like you kind of do need to familiarize with like the first couple steps, but you already passed that. Like I like that.
Yeah.
The center of the 7 major circles of the first Mansion World administration is occupied by the Temple of the Morantia Companions, the personal guides assigned to the ascending mortals. These companions are the offspring of the local universe, Mother Spirit, and there are several million of them on the Morantia worlds of Satania. Aside from those assigned as group companions, you will have much to do with the interpreters and translators, the building custodians, and the excursion supervisors. And all of these companions are most cooperative with those who have to do with developing your personality factors of mind and spirit within the Morancha body. As you start out on the first mansion world, one Morancha companion is assigned to each company of 1,000 ascending mortals, but you will encounter large numbers as you progress through the 7 mansion spheres. These beautiful and versatile beings are companionable associates and charming guides. They are free to accompany individuals or selected groups to any of the translation or transition culture spheres, including their satellite worlds. They are the excursion guides and leisure associates of all ascending mortals. They often accompany survivor groups on periodic visits to Jerusalem, and on any day you are there, you can go to the registry sector of the system capital and meet ascending mortals from all 7 of the mansion worlds, since they freely journey back and forth between their residential abodes and the system headquarters.
Woo!
That's a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fire. Yeah, I missed a little bit, but sorry about that. Internet went out.
You've already read it like 15 times anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you already read the part where they said they're not merely detention planets.
Yeah.
Rehabilitation spheres, deficiency ministry,
Yep.
cosmic rehab, bro.
IU-13.
Detention sphere number 1 for you.
It kind of makes me think of this book, A Long Way Gone, following the journey of this kid, Ishmael Bey. He was a child soldier in Uganda, or no, Sierra Leone during this crazy civil war that was going on over there. These horrible warlords getting child soldiers and all that. And, he was kind of too young to really choose to be evil, but he was thrust in the situation where he had to kill people and all that. And then I believe it was the United Nations had some folks that came in and kind of got these kids and put them through this rehabilitation camp. And going through it, initially the first few months, they're filled with so much frustration and pent up anger. He described punching a concrete wall until his bones were exposed because he was just filled with so much rage. But after a while, going through this whole rehabilitation, he was able to find who he truly was before his life was taken away from him, basically, and was able to integrate into society, actually kind of become a good person, write a book, become successful, and now he kind of tends to people who've been through similar traumas. That guy has a testimony because he went through what he went through. He's able to relate to people who had a similar experience in a way none of us could. So it's actually a valuable experience, but that makes sense to me, a rehabilitation kind of center. That was kind of just a parallel I saw on our Earth. But that's basically what the first mansion world is for a lot of us that go through a really rough experience. We got a lot of rehabilitating to go through.
99% of Earth people probably go to mansion world number 1.
Yeah.
You guys
Did you finish the section or no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we just did.
Yeah, we just got to 4.
Oh yeah, dude. So we'll pick up 4 next week or the week after, and we might read some Yarga next week.
Nice.
That's exciting. And dude, how exciting is this? So you get a little insight on where you're going after you die, and it's going to be sick and fun. It's not just some ethereal white plane of just ecstasy and
no white robes,
Muay Thais on the beach. Yeah, white robes. Nah.
Pulling harps.
I mean, you might get access to some white robe drip, but I don't think that's the standard. Some people are gonna want to. A lot of people still come up with their religious ideals. They'll be like, "Yo, give me the white robes, dog." I'm feeling holy in this.
But I would
Some
imagine
crystals.
how many fashion designers wake up and their heaven is creating some cool fashion, and how many, crazy fashion trends are going on day by day on the mansion worlds. So no doubt everyone's wearing some crazy outfits you couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, Morantra Vogue.
Yeah.
They be coming in there like, yo, I met this alien race and they do it like this. We adapted
they
it for
look
the
so
human
sick.
form.
Yeah, that'd be sick, dude.
Crazy.
Cosmic fashion designers.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's
colors
gonna be
you've never
beautiful.
seen.
Hey, we got some cosmic drip right here.
That's
Sure
right, we do. And then, damn, that was only the first mansion world. Still got the second and rest to go. I wonder if the fashion sense is different on the different mansion worlds.
Yeah,
There
it's
is
gotta
we do have a light code coming in right now. I just heard it in my earpiece.
Yeah, I got a weird tingling too.
And
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
Picking from
They're the angels are whispering something about that cosmic drip. I'll tune us in right now.
I need your attention, everybody. This just in. The New Jersey drones are now over New York, LA, and every major capital on the face of planet Earth. They keep repeating a message over the 6 gigahertz frequency band, and it keeps saying, Planetary HQ has cosmic garments for your physical mechanism. In other words, we got that drip. Straight from the Galactic Federation wardrobe, these tees vibrate at the frequency of chill. Ribbed knit collars lovingly hug your neck chakra, preventing collar droop across dimensions. Tapered shoulders enhance your interstellar silhouette, perfect for Earth missions and beyond. Dual side seams stabilize your style, ensuring your energy stays aligned even when encountering planetary turbulence. Crafted from 100% classified heirloom combed and ring spun cotton, this featherlight fabric breathes like you're cruising through the astral plane. Ideal for layering beneath your space cloak or relaxing at your Earth base. The tailored retail fit transitions seamlessly from casual Earthling mode to I've got crystals in my pocket and I ain't from here chic, making it essential apparel for your rigorous interdimensional journey. So check out them shirts. We got a bunch of different colors. Link is in the description. Your contributions directly support spiritual operations on the front line in the battle for truth, beauty, and righteousness. With your help, we can help change the face of planet Earth, and we can look fly while doing it. Okay, now that we can fund the Black Budget Anti-Grab program, let's get back to the show.
Nice. Got that celestial transmission for that cosmic swag, that interstellar drip. That's funny. We were just talking about people waking up on the mansion worlds, how they would look like, and then all of a sudden, this weird transmission. Again, this guy, he always looks like me. I don't know who he is, but he's doing a great job. No, for real, guys. Shout out to the chat. We appreciate you guys joining. Shout out to Skywatch Signal again. Go check out his X page, Twitter page, going hard. There's the link for you guys in the chat right there. Always keeps you up to date with the celestial information, just like Planetary HQ does, baby. And then every time you buy a shirt, you're helping sacrifice an Illuminati high priest, just like we've been saying since day one. We got a bunch of different new shirts in the store if you haven't checked it out yet. 3i Atlas is a Project Bluebeam. We got the TR3B Classic. Magma's wearing the Planetary HQ unit tee. Just like, those every military unit has their unit tee. Showed the little backside, got Planetary HQ repping it. We got tinfoil hats. The stars are watching you. Just go check it out. Link is in the description. planetary-hq.com. That's all you need to do.
Take advantage of the galactic drip, man.
Yeah, we're trying to take over the planet. We want to create our own, new Earth. Should I say it like that? Our own New Earth collective. Just take the planet back from the distorted thought forms. And we can do it. We can do it. It is within our grasp. So if we band together, all of these cosmic concepts we've been talking about in the future after death on the mansion worlds, we don't have to wait until we die to get those. We can bring those to planet Earth now if we work together. So wake up. You are a mind, a body, and a spirit in conjunction. You are a part of the cosmos, and the cosmos created you because it needed you. It needed you to fill a specific role, a specific service for the cosmos. And if you're listening to this right now, you are the resistance. So tap into that light code, that ancient holographic light matrix that is within your mind. You have the most advanced fucking super Avenger, super Terminator assistant that is installed within your consciousness. It will show you pictures in your mind called the thought adjuster. It records every thought you have, and it always tries to get you to do the right thing. If you're ever doing something bad and you know it's bad, why do you think you know it's bad? Because that's your adjuster knocking on your mind's door. If you see somebody going through hardship and you know you should get up, but you ignore it, guess what you just did? You just ignored the thought adjuster. So tap in to the divine light holograms that exist within you. Use them to rise up and then fucking co-create the planet Earth. It's so simple. You don't need crystals in your pocket. You don't need to say namaste. You just fucking wake up in the morning, train your mind, body, spirit, and report into Planetary HQ, baby. That's what I got to say to the people. I'm going to open the floor, so put some gasoline on that fire, baby.
What I find so fascinating about what we just read is it presents an infrastructure to the afterlife. I could never grasp why you would magically wake up after death, but this kind of makes sense. I mean, I imagine, there's that one Robin Williams movie where he wakes up in heaven and it was like their imaginations create heaven. That was kind of the best conception I had of heaven. Maybe it's just your imagination has free reign, but this makes sense that there are higher minds in the cosmos that could actually design a divine infrastructure for your soul to be carried up and transcribed, for a new body to be rematerialized. Our brains are like little calculators compared to the supercomputer minds preceding ours in the cosmos. And so there are, celestial minds capable of crazy computational power. They've got it all figured out. So that makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, it kind of makes sense, if mind is to exist in this world, it would be a pattern emerging from somewhere else. You won't just get a Boltzmann brain just materializing in the universe out of nowhere. Mind is a pattern that trickles down from higher sources. We're just downstream of that. That's why we can utilize mind. But utilize your mind to the best of your ability. That's what we're all here for.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, man. This stream, everything we talked about, I definitely do appreciate you guys bringing me on here. Showing me to the people. I guess just letting me expose myself. I guess you could say. But not in a
Not
weird
like
way.
that.
Not in a
Mine's
weird
out of the
way.
gutter, fucking listeners.
Yeah, but not
Everybody,
in a weird
if
way,
they're
man.
listening, everybody pulled out their phone real quick to see.
No, guys. But yeah, everything we talked about. These are things. These are concepts. These are ideas that you can draw them out. You can fucking go design a game about them. You can go make a video about it, bro. You have it all in your mind. Like D-Bake said, like we have a lot of advanced capabilities within us. And we just gotta unlock them.
Hell
bro.
yeah.
We just gotta unlock
Sure.
them. It's all about going to go lift up that heavy weight. You go fucking draw that masterpiece you've been waiting on. Go fucking go on that hike, man. Talk to that girl, talk to that dude, talk to that them, whatever, whatever it may be. Go be sociable. Go be what you are, what you feel like you are. You know, just be you, the best you can be. Don't try to copy somebody else, bro. We all gotta be. You can't escape expressing your feelings up there, bro. You gotta talk it out, dog. You can't escape half of the stuff down here. So just get through it right now. Just get through it at a young age, and just keep on doing your thing. Keep on believing in yourself, and just take pride in that, bro. Take pride in being you. Ain't nobody you
Amen
but
to
you.
that. Amen to that.
Hell yeah. We got the youth speaking the truth. Planetary HQ, baby.
Yeah, bro.
Thanks for being here, Chris.
Damn.
We appreciate you. This is epic,
Not
guys.
Planetary HQ mobilizing the youth.
He's not. He may be the first, the youngest blood you've seen on the channel, but he certainly is not the last. And there might be other young listeners in the chat right now, so we're just speaking out. We're letting you know that we're the planetary headquarters. But no matter where you're at, you can be a part of it. We have a Discord. It's in the link, I think, in our description. That's kind of our home base. We're working on. We do have to do some work on the Discord. We recognize that it's not too popping yet, but that's our current digital headquarters where you could hop in a voice chat with us if you ping us. Words of power. Okay, the afterlife. I had a concept. There was something about like the synchronization of, I don't know, between the physical down here and up there. Oh, remember, they're going to be using a portion of your DNA to resurrect you in a new avatar in this afterlife. So make sure, cause I'm not to scare you or anything, but like, I don't know which part of their life they're going to take that DNA from. And because you also don't know that, you might just want to make sure that your body is looking good, that you be treating it right, so that no matter where they sample that DNA from, you're going to look fire when you get resurrected.
Yeah.
So get on that mind, body, spirit work. I got a gym membership. I admit I gotta get more disciplined on going like 3 times a week at least.
There you go.
But yeah, just, make it happen. And also, this is not, we're studying the afterlife here on Earth. You still might have 80 years. What does that mean? Why do we even need to, why are we looking at this now? This is about, I guess, putting yourself in context with the greater cosmos, because a lot of people feel lost on Earth. They don't know what they're doing here. They don't know what it's for. Some people are so discouraged by how pitiful it is down here that they want to stop living, because if there's no reason for it and there's no afterlife, then why would they choose to continue living in such a pitiful condition or place, and all these experiences are weighing them down? You are vetting yourself. You are getting essential experiences to determine what you want in the cosmos. And no matter how bad it is down here, you will get a new opportunity up there. But it's important to work in the sphere that you have right now, because like this paper said, there's no shortcuts. You wake up exactly where you left off. You might not have to like make money and do a job, but that's the least of your problems. All progression is an inner progression. It's in the mind, it's in the heart, it's in how you express your personality through your body. Your limits are not truly imposed by those around you. I know I'm saying that from a place of being in maybe the 3% of the world, but I'm talking more psychologically, mentally speaking. The hero's journey means that someone in 21st century America can rise to change the planet, and somebody from a third world country can also do that and become someone great and influential who is mind, body, spirit practicing. All of that is available. So no matter your origin, know that your destiny is cosmic, and you can bring that to the planet today. And we need you. Please do.
Yeah, that's hard.
Let's go. All Starseeds report to Planetary HQ. Shout out to the chat. We'll be here next Sunday at 11:30. Tour dates. We will be at Conscious Life Expo, February, what is that?
February 20th to the 23rd in LA.
20th to the 23rd. If you want to come hang out at Planetary HQ, Conscious Life Expo in LA. New York New Life Expo, we're speaking again. April 20th to the 25th, right? Something like that.
I think that's just that might be the 19th. I can pull it up here.
Okay.
But New Life Expo is April.
Sorry guys, we should have all these dates down
25th
like this.
to the 26th. That's a Saturday and Sunday in the Big Apple, NYC, baby. It's a hot time. It's fire. Yeah. Everything's bustling
in the
city.
area. Come check it out. Urantia International Conference, Monterey, California, July 24th to 27th. We'll be there. Come check us out. We'll be at Contact in the Desert as well. Next Sunday, we'll have a full tour list with dates prepared for you guys. But Planetary HQ's on tour this year, baby. So you want to come kick it with the squad? Come hit us up. D-Bake the Wise, Mammoth Sloth, Tay Chilla, Young Chris in the booth. We out here.
Yeah.